Hi guys, I never thought of Reform UK as a serious party, but the fact that some of its leadership are calling on the Tories to stand down at the next election is a farcical attempt to gain headlines. So its head honcho Richard Tice clashed somewhat with Mark Dolan, a comedian who has his own show on Reform UK friendly GB News. Mark rightly explained to the crazy party leader that under first past the post, Reform have no hope of winning enough seats to put Tice into number 10. But Richard pushed back. Have a listen.
Behind the Times, my friend. Richard Littlejohn in the Daily Mail, I think we may have it on the screen, last Friday, he quite rightly put up the headline, maybe the Tories should stand down in favour of Reform UK, because head-to-head, I beat Keir Starmer any day of the week.
Okay, beat Keir Starmer according to what polling? GB News polling? Reform UK polling? Look, this is anecdotal, but Times Radio went out and met members of the public and showed them a picture of Richard Tice and asked them, do you know who this guy is? And I think one of the people interviewed actually knew who Richard Tice was. And this was somebody who was likely going to vote for Reform UK anyway. So I don't know according to what polling, but it's irrelevant whether Richard Tice believes that he would be a better Prime Minister than Keir Starmer, or he's more popular than Keir Starmer, because as I keep saying, this is a referendum on the incumbent. Are people going to vote for more of the Tories or less of the Tories? Are people happy with what the Tories have implemented over the last 13, 14 years? And the answer is no. And under first past the post, the only real alternative, in England at least, is the Labour Party.
But you're thinking old school, Mark. What's going on here? Why are you trying to perpetuate failure? You have to punish incompetence and failure. If you do a bad job presenting, you get fired.
Most definitely.
It's even more important that if someone does a bad job running the country, breaking the country, we the voters have got to fire them. Now, what I'm saying to the country is, look, both main parties are woeful. They're two forms of socialism.
For sure.
The Tories are...
What do you mean, for sure? Two forms of socialism. How is Rishi Sunak a socialist? How is the Conservative Party socialist? They implemented austerity over the last 13 years. They have underfunded public services. How is that social? It's the opposite of socialism. Like, do either of these idiots understand what socialism actually is?
Have broken it. Labour will bankrupt it. It's a catastrophe. The country needs to wake up and vote reform. What you're suggesting is that, no, we'll let the dreadful toxic situation permeate and perpetuate because I'm happy for people to vote out of fear. What a dreadful way to run a democracy.
I live in the real world. We have a very rigged electoral system. I know you'll agree with that. First past the post, which favours...
You agree with me we should have proportional representation.
Well, there's a degree of common ground there. Plus, I like your policies, and I think you'd make a great Prime Minister. But the problem...
My goodness, how would he make a good Prime Minister? He's talking absolute twaddle. He doesn't know what socialism is. He honestly, I don't know whether he honestly believes this, but he wants you to believe that there's a chance that Reform UK can pick up enough seats to form a government. I don't think they'll pick up any seats. Now, something may happen in a particular constituency, and it's possible, it's highly unlikely, but it's possible that Reform UK pick up a seat. But he's talking absolute nonsense.
In a year's time, that ain't going to happen, OK? Your other half will not be...
It would if Littlejohn was right, we gave the Tories a chance.
I don't know what taste your missus has in curtains for number 10, but she won't be going down to John Lewis's haberdashery department because of past the post. It's Labour or Tory, right? So that means...
So you're saying we stand down, so millions of people are not allowed to express an opinion.
Here's your dilemma. And
you perpetuate failure,
Here's the thing that ought to...
Mark is right. You know, the choice is between, in England, the choice is between Tory and Labour. You know, people, what Richard Tice, I think, is trying to do here is trying to grab headlines. And this may grab a few headlines for a bit. Yes, you know, what needs to happen is the Conservatives need to stand down and allow the real party to take over, the real Conservative Party, Reform UK. The party that wants to reduce the size of government, wants to cut taxes for the rich, wants to implement ridiculous immigration policies. Look, people are upset with the Tories. And this is actually going to help the Labour Party, because the more exposure Reform UK get, the more they're going to split the conservative, small c conservative vote, the right-wing vote. So in marginal seats where the Tories are perhaps close to clinging on, the vote will be split and Labour will win, or the Liberal Democrats will win that seat. This is going to be a disaster because in 2019, the Brexit Party under Nigel Farage and Boris Johnson's Tory party worked out a deal where the Brexit Party would run in mainly Labour pro-Brexit seats. But that's off the table now. That's not going to happen. So it's allegedly Reform are going to field candidates in all of Great Britain, excluding not in Northern Ireland. For some Reform, it should be called Reform GB, not Reform UK. But they're going to field candidates in England, Scotland, and Wales. And I don't know if they're going to actually campaign there because they would need a huge amount of money. But allegedly, they're going to field candidates in all of these constituencies, and this is going to be damaging to the Tories because the crazies are going to come out and vote. And the crazies used to vote for the Conservatives, but now they're going to say, well, there's another alternative. Now, it's still early days, and of course, a lot of people who vote Conservative are going to look at Reform UK and say, well, they don't have a hope, so I'm just going to vote Tory anyway. But where it's on a knife edge, they could be damaging. But there's no chance of the Conservatives standing down for Reform UK. This is just a pile of rubbish. And it's an attempt to grab headlines, of course. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.